I want you to close your eyes and think of all the things that come to your mind when you think of Singapore. Is it the clean city, or that everything is in order and there are very strict laws? If you can answer these questions with a yes, then you're thinking about stereotypes about Singapore. And in this video, I'm going to talk about whether these are true or false. Cliché number one. One cliché about Singapore is that it's perfectly clean and there's no trash on the floor. And I can 100% say that this is so true. I think I've never seen a city which is that clean. When I walk along Orchard Street, I can't find a cigarette or like a small piece of paper. There's literally nothing. And I think the Singaporeans take really pride in their cleanliness. So everyone really follows the rules and reminds each other and throwing anything on the floor. Also, public toilets are in perfect condition. I barely see a toilet which is dirty or doesn't have any toilet paper. So that's such a huge pro when you're around going shopping and you need to use a public toilet. Cliché number two, efficient public transport. Another cliché about Singapore is its efficient public transport. Whereas a lot of people would say that this is true, for me this is only partially true, but I will get to that later. First of all, I can really say that Singapore has a perfectly functioning MRT. They have buses, you never have to wait longer than 5 minutes. The MRT is very clean, and also a big plus is that it's super affordable. For approximately 3 to 4 stops with the MRT, you pay around 140 Singapore dollars, and for students and elderly people it's even cheaper. So compared to Switzerland, where I come from, this is a big plus. When I want to go in the city in Zurich, I pay around 8 Singapore dollars, and the ticket is valid for like 1 hour. So this is definitely a big plus in Singapore. Why I'm saying this is only partially true is because of short distances. So in Zurich, for example, you have trams. It would take you around 15 minutes by foot. So in Singapore, you don't really have an option to take the bus sometimes. So walking 15 minutes, it's almost faster than taking the same route with public transport. And what I think would solve this problem would be electric scooters. These are allowed in Zurich, and I took them so often. They're very convenient. You're super fast, but unfortunately these are not allowed in Singapore and they are banned. So that would be a great invention here. But to sum this up, Singapore has a very well-maintained, affordable, clean, and efficient public transport. Cliché number three, strict rules and fines. Singapore is known to be the fine city, and I can really say that this is 100% true. I've never been to a place where you have prohibition signs everywhere you go, and if you enter a walk or a hike, there is a huge sign with all the things you're not allowed to do, from fishing to taking your dog to not feeding a monkey. The fines that you get for these things that are not allowed are super high. Just to give you some examples, littering can cost you up to $1,000. If you're caught importing chewing gum, it's up to $10,000 or jail. Also, jaywalking when you cross the street with a red light can cost you up to $1,000. And feeding monkeys on a hike is up to $5,000. So better don't do that. On the other hand, these strict rules make the city very safe, and I can honestly say that Singapore is the safest city I've ever been to, especially for women at night. You don't have to worry at all, and so this is very, very convenient. Cliché number four, diverse cuisine and food. And I can say Singapore is a food paradise, and every foodie has to visit Singapore because I've never seen a place with so many food options, also affordable food options, in one city. The great thing about the food options is that you have everything. You have it from a very low price option at hawker centers to a $600 omakase at a Japanese restaurant. You basically have everything. And for me personally, hawker centers are the best part about Singapore. You get a noodle soup for around 4 Singapore dollars, or you get my beloved chicken rice for 5 Singapore dollars, which I probably still eat 3 times a week. There are so many different cuisines, from Indian to Malay, whatever your heart desires. Even if you're craving a chicken burger, you can find it. Also, in every mall, you have a food court, which is basically kind of similar to hawker center. It's a bit more expensive, but it's air-conned. And you have a variety of stalls ranging from nasi lemak to dumplings to hot pot and whatever your heart desires. Sometimes I feel a bit stressed out because I have the feeling I can never taste all the food that you can taste here, but I'm working on it. Topic number 5. Singaporeans do not want to make friends with foreigners. And from the bottom of my heart, I can say that this is not true. Singaporeans are known, or it's said that they would like to stay between them, and that they're not very open to foreigners who come to their city. And from my own experience, I really made a total different experience. I think the first week I arrived, I went to a Pilates class and I met this girl, and there was this heavy rainstorm and I only had one umbrella, and I asked her if she wants to share the umbrella. So we shared the umbrella, and she asked me for my number and if I wanted to have a coffee someday. And the same evening, she invited me over to her house to have a dinner with friends. And we barely knew each other, but this really showed me that she was super open to get to know someone from a different country. And also, if I go to events or if I meet local people, they're always very interested in where I come from. They ask what I do, and never felt like I was the foreigner who doesn't belong here, which is a very nice feeling. Also, I talked to a lot of other expats, and they made kind of the same experiences. So I think this is really not true. Also, I have to say that building friendships and relationships, it's hard everywhere you go. And I think it also comes down to what kind of personality you have. So if you're very outgoing and if you're open-minded and talk to people, it is a lot easier. So let's sum this up. Singapore is a very clean city with an efficient public transport, with amazing food and variety. So these cliches are definitely true. For me, what really isn't true is that Singaporeans are not open to get to know expats and foreigners. And also the public transport has some lack of improvement for short distance transportation. So I would say let's invent e-scooters in Singapore. That's it for today's video. It really helps my channel if you give it a like and if you subscribe to my channel. As you see, it does take a lot of time and effort to produce. So if you have any questions, let them down in the comments. And if you want to know more about my life in Singapore, follow me on Instagram, that's Swizzyinsg, where I share more about what I eat, the hawker centers I visit, and what else you can do in Singapore. See you in the next one.